who shows up. Anyhow, this is my first YouTube live show, so bear with me while I try to figure out the whistles. So let's see what's going on here. I'm not gonna be doing a lot of talking. Um, I'm preparing for my next lesson, and so I guess in the future I'll try to advertise it just a little bit better to give people more of a notice. But I'm gonna play around with some of these buttons right now to see what's going on. What's that? Okay, that's retouch. I don't know what that is. You retouch off. What's that? That's green screen. Oh no, we don't want that, do we? Done. Don't want green screen. Oh no. Okay. Oh. Okay. How do I get out of green screen? Done. Okay. 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 Can everybody hear me okay? If you can hear me okay, say okay. I have my mic muted. Like I said, this is my first live stream, so I'm just trying to figure out the bells and the whistles. I'm new to all of this. I've been wanting to do it for a moment, and I guess that moment is right now. So I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. We can take a look at today's numbers. You know, the 4 energy and the 12, um, and the 9 energy, which is going to bring us back to number 7. You know, the month of April is a 4 energy. And, you know, I was just thinking, I was in my meditations, and I was just thinking how the eternal light, which is also known as God. God has many multiple names, but the eternal light gives out the commandments for its creation, but it utilizes the number 4 to build it. So we're going through the 4th month right now. So number 4 is a builder. It's a fantastic builder, and it uses math. God creates this universe by using mathematical formulas. You have to measure things out perfectly and exact in order for creation to come together and to stay together. And so the 4 energy is a very grounded type of vibrational energy. And in my estimation, it's probably the most important number of all the numbers, because without the 4 energy of discipline, you really can't accomplish anything in life. And so the 4 energy is a heavy energy, it's a square energy, but it is needed because that's how creation come into manifestation. You have to mathematically measure things out. Just like I'm doing this live streaming today, I had to determine when I'm going to do it, where I'm going to do it, how long I'm going to do it. Trying to just figure out, you know, the proper camera angle, just, you know, the 4 energy, just trying to get it, you know, well organized so I can be, you know, ahead of the game. And then the day being the 12th is 2 sub elements, the 1 and the 2, so you have to factor that in. But the 1 energy for me would be like, this is my first live stream, so that's the 1 energy. Okay. And then number 2, I'm connecting with a group of people, and I'm using communication. So 1 plus 2 makes your 3 energy. So I'm dealing with communication. This is my first live stream. I'm communicating with you, which is the 3 energy, to a group energy. So that's how you work it. And then the 9 energy, I've already went into details on number 9. But when you add the 4, the 3, and the 9, you get the 7 energy, which means that, you know, spirit is with us. My spiritual guides are here. Your spiritual guides are here. And your spiritual guides led you to this platform at this particular time because it's a 7 day. And whenever you're moving through the 7 vibrational energy, your spiritual guides, your masters, and your yogis, you know, they're here to assist you, to guide you, to open up to them. So it'll be a good day to spend some time with a numerologist to get a reading. Be a good time to read a spiritual book, or to practice some affirmations, or to practice japa. You understand? So that's what the 7 energy is all about. Okay? Well, not all about, but it's some of its aspects. The 7 energy. You know, the energy of enlightenment. So I'm here. No one asking any questions. Let me know if you're hearing me. Give me some feedback and let me know what's going on, because I don't know. This is my first rodeo, so I'm like shooting in the dark. I don't even know if this is being recorded and taped. I don't even know that much. I really don't know much about a lot of technologies. It's not my lane, but I'm gonna try to learn a little bit more about it. So no questions. Let's see, I got two people. Um, Still got three thumbs up, but let me know if you can hear me. Somebody just say, I can hear you. You know, you coming through okay. Because I don't have, I have no way of knowing. Okay. I have no way of knowing. All right. I think I'm going to hang until 2:30. Maybe next time I'll get a better, better response. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Anyone there? I guess in the tech industry, this is what you call dead air. You know, when no one's communicating. I think they call that dead air. But I've just I really just can't sit up here and talk for 30 minutes. you know, I would like to go to work. I would like to do a reading if someone is open to um, letting me know that you can hear me okay. I don't know if that's the problem or not. I don't know if I'm coming through. If you can hear me, if you can hear me, just say, I hear you. We hear you. You coming through strong or you coming through weak. Give me a little feedback so I know what's going on. Because I have no way of knowing. People popping in, people popping out. So let's see what else is going on here. Argent, fantastic, fine. Well, I have my angel cards here by the Ruling Virtue. The Ruling Virtue, she no longer is reading. Um, she decided to follow another path. But then, anyhow, these is in her deck. It's called Healing with the Angels. So let's pull a card and let's see what the angels have to communicate. There's 9 levels of angels, and the Archangel Michael been hanging around these last few days, which is really good. I really appreciate Archangel Michael, and so he's been hanging around. I like to call on Archangel Raphael. I had a very powerful vision of Archangel Haniel about 7 or 8 months ago. She was just a very huge angelic being. I have a couple of extraterrestrial spiritual guides as well. I don't know their names. I don't really. It's not. That's not important to me to get their names. What's more important to me is the information that's coming through. So I have extraterrestrials or spiritual guides. I have angels and archangels, and of course I have my spiritual guides. I got my companion guides. I got my guardian angels. And so when I give a reading or when I sit down to do my work, certain individuals that used to certain guys has been that was attracted to numerology when they was in the body. They kind of gather around and to support me, to help me with my clarity. So that's what usually happens. Like whatever you're interested in, you're going to have spiritual guides to come to assist you. So let's say, you're a carpenter. You can call on your spiritual guides that used to work with wood when they was incarnated in the body. Or you can call on a master craftsman. You understand? Because see, um, all life is present. There is no past, and there's no future. It's just the present. And so all souls are available like right now, but you have to call on them. You understand? You have your ancestors that's available to you right now. You have your elementals, your fairies. You just have a host of all type of assistance that's available for you right now. Then of course you have, God, and you have, the mother energy and the goddess energy. So you have more than enough to get the job done. But you just have to make the determination what it is that you want to do, and then do it knowing that you will get the assistance. So I've been playing around with these Doreen Virtues cards for like the last 5 minutes, and I'm gonna pull a card and I'm gonna give a reading on it right quick and see, like a card for the day. See what the angels have to say, what the angels want to communicate with us today. Okay, so I'm gonna pull a card. Oh, okay. And we get divine guidance. So that's what's going on right now. All of us are divine, and all of us are being guided. But where are we being guided? You understand? Well, we always being guided to ourselves. You understand? That's the only place you can go. Back to God, back to your inner sanctuary. And once you get into the material world, it's like lights go dark, and you really can't see with clarity of what's going on. And so you get these different helping hands to help you, to guide you, just kind of steer you out of the darkness of the material world. But sometimes we don't listen to the guidance, and we find ourselves stumbling in this material world. And so spirits try to, lighten our ways. They try to communicate with us through our dreams, through our intuitions, through other individuals that you may meet along the way. God is trying to communicate with you, but you have to like be still and know that I am. The power is in the silence, because God lives in the silence. God don't live in the noise. We live in the noise. You right? We live in the noise, but God lives in the silence. So if you really want to make contact with God, you got to be still. You understand? That means you have to work on stopping the onslaught of these thought forms. So be still means to, like a cessation, to cease the thinking process. Okay, just to stop all the mental activities. And then from there, be still and know. Now you have a direct revelations. You don't need another teacher. You don't need books. Now you're pulling the energies in straight from God, straight from the masters, and straight from the yogi. So the first part is to be still, to quiet the mind through meditation, through silence, through solitude, and then to know. Then you're going to have direct knowledge. You don't need input from outside sources, because a lot of times input from outside sources is going to be filtered based on how they will socialize within their culture. You understand? And then once you still the mind and you get direct knowledge, then you will know your truth, that I am, that I am. So be still and know that I am. And then you have the commandment of to seek the kingdom of God first, and then all things must be added unto you. Well, seek is like a commandment. It's telling us to do something. Seek what? Seek the kingdom. And what is the kingdom? What the kingdom is your soul. You understand? So you have to search for your soul, and your soul is available, but you don't hear your soul because there's so much noise, there's so much confusion within the world. So you have to find a place to isolate Sometimes I say you got to steal time, which is very difficult because our society moves so fast and you have to devote so much of your time for other endeavorments. Like if you're a mother or father, you have to deal with, and if you have young children, you have to deal with their well-being, and that can take a lot of your energy. You understand? You have to go and work a job. You work in 8 to 12 hours. You're tired. Then you have to come home and maybe fix you some food to eat and try to relax. So you try to watch a movie. So there's very little time left for God, but you got to steal that time. And if you can steal time, for example, say your day starts at 5 o'clock in the morning. If you can get up at 4:30 in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning and devote that time to God, then what happens is that your magnetic energy, your angelic energy becomes more resonating, becomes more alive, becomes more magnetic because you have infused yourself with the potency of self or with your soul. So then when you go out into the world, things come to you more naturally, more automatically because you're vibing at such a high vibrational. You have such a strong resonance. Let me put it like this. You guys know the value of having a cell phone that's fully charged. You understand? You have a lot of confidence when your cell phone is fully charged. But when you recognize that you only got like 1 bar left, or when you recognize that you only got 2% left in your charger, you may start panicking. You would say, well, okay, my phone getting ready to die and I need to find a plug. Okay, so the body is composed of cells, you understand? And the cells need to be charged. You understand? When you don't charge your cells, just like your cell phone, the body starts to die or it starts to break down. So you ask yourself, well, how can I charge my body? You understand? How can I charge my cells? Well, one of the easiest things, which is also one of the most challenging ways, is by staying positive. When you think positive thoughts, you're actually shooting positive vibration into your atomic energy. You understand? On your cellular energy, on your molecular energy. So staying positive keeps the body's cells very vibrant. Exercising is another way of staying magnetically charged. Another way is eating properly, eating fruits and vegetables, preferably uncooked, because when you cook food, it kind of like weakens the vibrational charge. So I have a question, Dr. DC, the spiritual barber. That's what I'm doing right now. Life Path 3, born 11/23/85. Okay, do you have an insights to help me? Well, sure. I'm noticing that you have the numbers is jumping out at me is the number 3, because you got the life path as a 3 and you're on the 23rd. So that's another sub element of the number 3. Those two threes is going to make a vibrational energy of a number 6. So just from what I'm seeing right now, is that you would be good when you if you want to start using your throat chakra um, to find the words to be able to make other individuals more at peace, preferably um, children. If you're in an environment in which um, you're around children, say you are a barber and you have children that come to get their hair cut, you can sow into their lives. You can be a storyteller. You understand? Um, so you carry the power, of the spoken word. The 33 energy is a very high vibrational energy, but in order to master it, you got to go through the third energy. And the third energy is the divine child. You have to be very aware of the words that you speak. You have to be very conscious of how you say what you're going to say. For you, when you go into your meditation, it would be best for you to grab a pencil, because the pencil is a more natural type of vibrational energy. Okay. And when you go into your meditations, your spiritual guides, there are probably some teachers, that some of your spiritual guides that's going to start channeling into you beautiful uh, poetry, if you're into poetry, or lyrics, if you're into music. And then just get your pen, get your pencil and piece of paper, and just write the stuff out. Okay. Okay, so I have another question. Okay, I'm a life path of 33, and I always see a mirror. Always, that's just your spiritual guide, just trying to, get your attention. And if you keep seeing it, it means that you're not acting on your power. You know what I'm saying? It's like they holding up the mirror so that you can take a look at what it is that needs to be done, but you're not answering it. See, you're not answering. So they want you to start moving in a direction in which you start doing something with your creative, artistic, vibrational energies. That's why you keep seeing it over and over again. You understand? That's it. The master numbers comes with a tremendous amount of responsibility and power. But to get through the master numbers, you got to go to the lower numbers. So the two threes make the six energy. So the six energy is all about how can you heal the society? How can you heal the family? How can you be the best friend that you can be? You understand? How can you be the best neighbor that you can be? You see, you have to move through the six energy in order to get to the higher vibrations of the 33 type of vibrational energy. And you just have to also understand that you have to be very responsible for what you say, because a lot of times your words can manifest because you do carry a very strong vibrational frequency. You understand? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah, the three energy, and today's being the three energy. See, the one and the two makes the three vibrational energy, understand? But there's steps. You got to go through the one, which is the self, and then you have to go through the two energy, meaning that if you can reach out and communicate with someone today, if you can, like, for example, I don't know if you're there by yourself or not, but you're involved in a group energy. So that would be a two energy. And what you're doing is we're communicating. So that would be a three energy. So that means that you're on sync. That means your spiritual guides are working with you. You are being in alignment with your spiritual guides, and they say, hey, we get his attention or her attention. You understand? Yeah, you must use your words carefully, but you can also, like, when you write your words down, you freeze your words. You understand? Like, I'm talking right now and my words is going out into the ethers, and they flying away from me, and it's settling in so many people's aura. You have to understand, because life is not static, life is always moving. But when you commit it to paper, then you freeze the energy, and then you can go back and study what's been channeled to you. So that's a fundamental difference than just talking for the sake of talking. Because when you talk, your word's going to go out and it's going to touch the whole universe. Now, it depends on the force of the word. You have to understand. See, if you have a weak will, then the thought form is going to come out weak. It's not going to really have the volition. It's not really going to have the power. You're going to shoot it out, and then it's just going to go limp because you don't have no vitality behind it. You don't have no force behind it. If your will is not strong, if your will is not focused. Now, for example, if you have a strong will, and you have a very strong sense of value of who you are, when you think a thought, then that thought shoots off like a rocket. You understand? And it has a higher probability of hitting this mark. So let's say you want to do your three energy with, say, remote healing. Say there's a friend of yours that's in another state that needs healing. Well, you can meditate on your friend, and then you just start sending your friend healing vibrational energy. And you just have to understand, when you think, you creating thoughts. And thoughts have shapes, they have volitions, they have colors, they have velocity. You understand? And if you send those thoughts with concentration and with focus, it's going to move through the ether and it's going to contact that individual that you're thinking about. And then that individual also has to be able to receive energy. See, it's a two-way street. I can throw it out, but you got to be able to catch it. You got to be able to receive it. You see what I'm saying? So they have to be open for the healing. See, they have to be open for the success. A lot of times individuals, they're not open. If I see something, I say, okay, you have the ability to do this. But if you don't have the self-confidence about yourself, then you're not going to receive it. And so therefore you're not going to act on it. Okay. Well, that's their karma. If they're not open, that means they're not ready. A flower blooms when it's ready. You understand? When you go and buy a flower and it's closed, it blooms when it's time to open. You understand? But it will open. The question is, will it open now or will it open 1,000 years from now? You understand? But everybody's in the process of opening, but everybody, is taking their own particular path. You understand? Everybody's not on the same path. Everybody's not going to awaken at the same time, because it depends on the type of work that an individual is doing in this life and the type of work that an individual has done in the previous life. You have to understand that your soul is this onward journey. And if you haven't spent no time in developing your psychic powers in the previous life, when you incarnate again, that don't mean you're going to come full blown of a psychic. You have to do the work. You understand? All right. Let's see. So wow. So we can do the same thing with our intention and with me. Well, of course, music is part of the third energy. The third energy is the spoken word. And see, like before there was creation, there is God. You understand? And then God wanted to share aspects of itself. And so it went into the dream. It started dreaming creation. Now, it used numbers, the two energy, which is the goddess energy or the mother energy. You have to understand that in order for creation to take place, you got to have the yin and the yang. You got to make you got to connect the positive and the negative vibrational energy. And when you connect with the negative and the positive energy, then automatically you're going to give birth. It's just like if you're going to compose music, you have to, strike a chord on the piano to make the sound. You see, the piano, the keys, the keys are there, but it takes you to strike the key. And how you strike the key is going to determine if it's going to be in discord or if it's going to be in harmony. You have to understand. Even when you're going to speak, you have to will the words to come out. That's the yin and the yang. You see, in order for the sound to be made, you have to make the connection. Just like I just made the connection with my two hands and the sound came. You understand? So you have to have that the material world have to have the yin and the yang. You got to have the positive and the negative for creation to come into being. For the dream to be sustained. You understand? So music is a very powerful instrument. And like when you chanting, that's all you're doing is you're aligning your own musical notes together. See, you are music. You're the muse, right? Creation is because of you. You understand? And so music is just another form of expression. Okay, no one else walk matches another. All we can do is be ourselves, right? But what you can do is like depends on how you walking. Depending on how you walking, because it's like you can be in a room and then all of a sudden a group of people can come into that room, but you may detect that one person in that group carries an aura of, say, peace, or an aura of love, or aura of success. That's how you become attracted to another individual, because you feeling that person's energy. You see, and if you feeling that person's energy, then that energy may pull you. That energy that you're feeling can pull you in. You see, that's why you have a lot of yogis and masters. They don't have to say anything because they're already resonating out. They already shooting their sun energy out. You see, so just by being in their presence, they're gonna pull you in. You understand? You're gonna want to get closer to the sun. You want to get closer to the glory. This is automatically you're gonna want to get closer. So it depends on how you walk, and it depends on the type of energy that you're kicking out. It depends on the type of energy that you're holding from within. Is just going to determine how you're going to affect your environment. You have the power of the one. You have the power of the many. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, because you're magnetic. You're magnetic. Before you go out, you have to arm yourself with the spiritual light, so that when you do go out, your magnetism is going to attract, positive energy. But you also can be an alchemist where you can transform a negative energy into a positive energy. It just depends on the type of energy that you're carrying. It just depends on how strong is your magnetic energy, and that has a lot to do with the type of work that you're doing to grow and to evolve. You understand? If you can spend an hour in meditation before you hit the streets, you are elevating your vibrational frequency. You are elevating everything about you, and so when you go out, like energy is going to be attracted to like. So you're gonna attract to you the positive vibrations. And even if darkness come, you can transform that darkness into light because you're an alchemist. You understand? Evening. Good evening. Okay. Thanks for the questions. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna stay on here for an hour. It's 39 minutes now. And let me see. That's my Scorpio 8th house. Okay. Well, yeah. So with numerology, there's only 9 lessons. With astrology, it's a whole different type of vibrational energy. But all the ologies, it's just a tool. You understand? That's all metaphysics is tools that's available. Or let's say like a buffet. When you go to a buffet, there's a variety of different choices. Now, you're not gonna go into that buffet and put every choice on your plate. You're gonna be selective. Okay, I want this. I don't want this. I only want to get so much of this. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to understand that you choose your tool that you feel comfortable with. See, music may be your tool. Astrology may be your tool. You have to determine. It's like what you're a magician, but what kind of magic are you holding? What kind of magic are you capable of doing? Everybody's a magician, but everyone has their own particular way of expressing their God self, you see. And I think that's the beautiful thing about creation is that everybody's a magician. Everybody is God's child, but each person has their own particular individuality, and that what makes the beautiful harmony of life. What kind of wine are you waving? What can you do? See, what are you doing? What's your approach? For an example, say you have the ability to materialize 3 great avatars. Let's say you had the ability to attract into your aura, into your life, say Lord Buddha, Lord Jesus Christ, and Lord Krishna. Okay, cool. Now, instinctively, you're going to know that each one is different because each one is going to come around with their own individual vibration, but yet they come as one. See, Lord Krishna does work different than Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha does work different from Lord Jesus Christ, but they all are one. But they all express their uniqueness differently. You understand? Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, you see. So what you want to do as a painter, um, no, let your first of all understand that it's time for you to start your painting, but also be aware that you're also having spiritual guides that when they was in the body, they enjoyed painting as well. So you can call on the spiritual guides of paint, of art, and what they'll do is they'll start channeling their expertise into your inner space. Another thing you can do with your art is you can see how it matures over time. So say you've been working a year ago, you take a look at that art and then look at how you projecting the art today. You understand, and those are indicators of how you're growing or how you're understanding the art. Okay. Well, but like I said, water energy, the element of water is, your body is composed of over 80% liquid. You have to, you have to understand, right? Life lives in water before its birth. You read the embryo stays into the moon, the mother, but it's submerged, in water. And so water energy is a very cleansing energy, but it's also a very psychic energy. Because it's real about the moon energy. You understand, the moon is so the water energy can be a very deep type of vibrational energy, a very psychic type of vibrational energy as well. Well, for once again though, depending on um how you want to project your sexuality. Like I said, you have spiritual guides that are experts in all areas. I mean, you have to understand the earth is over 6 billion years, and there's been many souls that has come and gone. It just depends on how you want to express your sexual energy. Like for example, some females, they honor their menstrual cycle. It's a ritual that they perform just with their menstrual cycles, because the menstrual cycle is life, is water, is energy. A male semen is vitality, is energy. You have to understand that a male seed has the power to bring forth life. So it's very potent vibrational energy, and you have a lot of society. They hold their seeds. In other words, instead of using their seed to create a life outside of themselves, they hold that seed and allow that inner seed to transform them from one base energy to another base energy. The alchemist, to change yourself from the son of man to the son of God. That's a school of thought that some people practice. They retain their life force. Well, if you're very deep and very serious, then you need to move into the fifth level. Because the fifth level is not that deep and the fifth level is not that serious. You got to balance life. You understand? That's why you have the fifth level of freedom, to be able to enjoy yourself, to look at creation and say, oh, this is fun. This is fun. You have to find out what's fun for you. You understand? You have to figure out what's fun for you, and so you may want to bring that into your consciousness. I love being deep. I love being serious, but I also want to have some good time. Sometimes I just want to leave the depth and the seriousness behind me so I can maybe, integrate with other people better. You understand? Yeah, painting with crystals. I have a friend that she likes to collect rocks and paint on rocks. But what she failed to understand was that a rock or a crystal may have been laying someplace for 10,000 years. Think about it. A rock could have been laying in dirt or in the ocean for like 10 million years, 10,000 years. And then you, being the son of God, comes along and pick it up. You know how powerful that is to be able to pick up a rock that hasn't been picked up in 10,000 years, you see? And then you can start animating that particular rock. You can start infusing your vibrational energy into that crystal or into that stone, or you can amplify the vibrational energy that's already in that stone, that's already in that rock. See, that's the power of being a God. That's the power of being a soul. You have the ability to um, transmit energy into things that appears to be inanimated, or you're able to amplify things that appears to be inanimated, because everything is alive, but you have the ability to increase the vibrational frequency of it. You understand? Yeah, children are very childlike, but what happens is the reason why they have so much energy is because they have just left heaven. See, um, the soul occupies heaven before it occupies the earth. And so children, they still remember how free they was. But then once they get acclimated to the earth, they loses the childlike vibrational frequency, and they become adults, and they get away from the child energy, the playful energy, the joyful energy, because now the earth energy, which is a heavier vibrational energy, start weighing them down, and then they lose the innocence of childhood. But the reason why they so joyful and so full of energy, because they just left heaven, and they still have cosmic memories of that time when they was in heaven. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Just play around with the five energy. The five energy. Hang around with people that's five energies, right? Don't judge them though. A person is born, in May, or a person is born on the 14th or the 23rd, or a person that might be living on the fifth floor but in apartment number five. They may come across to you as goofy or crazy or always playing around and always joking, and your inner space may reject that, right? You may don't try to stay away from judgment. But the five energies are really joyful people. They go out and they like to enjoy themselves. So like a four energy can be very grounded, whereas a five energy is not really grounded. So when a four energy hangs with a five energy, the five energy can help loosen the four energy up, and then the opposite can also hold true. If five energy is too loose, then the four can tighten it up. Okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, do a reading on the thyroid gland. That's what I'm saying. What function does it plays in the human anatomy? Tackle it from that level. You see, find out what is the function of that particular gland, and then go deep on that. Okay, 9 16 1988. Well, I can say that you have a very strong seven energy, because your double eights make a 16, which drops down to a seven energy, and then you're born on the 16th, which that's a seven energy as well. So I'm seeing a very strong need for spiritual development and growth. I know there's a lot of energies moving through there, but what's popping out at me is your double sevens. The two eights that come at the end of 1988, which is a seven, and then the 1-6 energy, which is a seven. Okay. Yeah, like I said, you cannot be spiritually attacked unless you allow yourself to be spiritually attacked. You see, that will must be done. That's why I was saying it's so important that before you go out into the world, that you put the full armor on. You understand? You got to put the full armor on. You have to protect yourselves from the darker vibrational energies. There's always going to be. That's their job, though. See, that's their job. Their job is to attack. You understand? Your job is to deflect. See, it's the yin and yang vibrational energy. As long as you're in the material plane, you got duality. They're on their job. That's their job, to make your life miserable. And your job is to sidestep that and stay closer to your light energy, to stay closer to the I am energy. You understand? So nothing can really attack you unless you allow it. And if you allow it, then it's for your benefit and for your purpose. It's for your development and your growth. You don't have to go that route, but a lot of people do go that route. But you don't have to do that because that will shall be done. Let me see. Spiritual attacks versus spiritual guidance. How you feel. How you feel. You understand? Whenever you're being, for example, I'm giving you a spiritual reading right now. How you feel? See, are you feeling me? You see? So you go on how you feel. Okay, that's how you determine if it's coming from the I am energy or from the I am not energy. How you feel, the intuitive aspect of who you are. Okay, you feel pretty good, but then there you go. Then it's coming from God. See, it's all about feelings. See, your gratitude is a key. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Yeah. You put your place where you want to be. That will shall be done. See, never surrender your power. Always maintain your power. See, we have a tendency to surrender our power, but that will shall be done. That's the law. That's the third. That's the third level. That's how God creates through will. The great masters and yogis that start writing Genesis told us, God said, I want to bring forth this, I want to bring forth that. That is a commandment. And then creation must obey. You have to understand that will shall be done. Whatever you think is going to come into manifestation because you're the child of God. You can't get away from that, and nor should you want to get away from it. But what you want to do is recognize your power and be able to handle your power better. You understand? Okay. All right. Well, it's getting towards the 60-minute mark, so I got like maybe 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna call it. But I'm feeling very good about this reading today, this being my first one, and so in the future, I'll advertise it a little bit better when I'm coming on. But today is a seven energy, so just know that God is pleased because you have to understand that God wants you to come home, but we get so caught up in the noise. And God is saying, well, how many incarnations do you need? Right? And it's like I'm sending you so much guidance in each incarnation, but how much do you really need to start waking up? You see? And it's not easy to wake up. It's not easy to wake up. So today, seven energy is just the spiritual guys are saying, let's give them some food so they can chew on, so they can assimilate, because God wants all of us to come on home. You understand? Okay, I got about like 4 more minutes, and I'm gonna cut it down, shut it down. Now I don't know if this being taped or not. I'm not privy to it, but the next time I do it, I got my whiteboard right here, and I just go on the whiteboard and I can show you visually what I'm talking about. Yeah, well, the Kundalini energy, the sexual energy, trips up a lot of people. That's for sure. Um, but you just have to, hopefully with age, you'll be able to manage it because it's for most people, it's an incontrollable energy. You understand? You want to procreate, you want to bring forth life. You want to bring forth in your image. That's how you so much like God. God brings forth things in his or her image, and you too want to bring forth things in your image as well. And so the sexual energy is the way in which you want to bring forth an energy, based in your energy. But of course, we use it for gratification. Yeah, that's all you can do is yeah. Okay, thanks for the subscription. I'll be back. I'll be back. Like I said, this is my first live, and Spirit been wanting me to do this, and I'm finally, answer the call myself. And so I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be of service. And like I said, the next time if you come with your questions, I can put it on my whiteboard, and then you can visually see how the vibrational energy is moving. Because like God creates through math. Without math, creation is chaotic. You understand? God had to determine, where I'm going to place Earth in proximity, where I'm going to place the sun, right? If I put the sun too close to the Earth, boom, Earth is going to burn. If I place the sun too far away from the Earth, boom, ain't no life's going to thrive because it's too cold. See? So we had to mathematically figure out where I'm going to place the Earth, where I'm going to place it in proximity to the sun. Okay. So, all right, I'm going to get up on out of here. I just wanted to do 60 minutes a day. Thank you for all your questions, and I hope I was of service to you. And I'll let you guys know when I'm coming back. All right. So let me see if I can figure out how to sign off on this thing. Let's see, because I'm still playing around with it. All right. God bless each and every one of you. Peace. Okay. Okay.